All right, y'all. Guess what? It is time to focus, LBK. This is Robert Jenkins coming to you on this 15th of April, 2024. It is tax day. Happy tax day, everybody. I am sure that you are ecstatic to be paying income tax. If you have to pay, I know we end up always having to pay, and I can tell you, man, it is one of the best things we do. I just love giving up tons of my hard-earned ducats and giving them to the government, especially when they aren't actually used for any of the things that we think they are. Huh? Say what? Yeah, we're going to get into that later on in the show, but according to a 1980s presidential study called the Grace Commission, none of the income tax is used for any of the programs that we think it's used for. It actually just pays interest on the debt, my understanding. We'll get into that later. We're also going to talk about something, some of the things that are going on in the community, like we always do. We got several cool things coming up. Also want to get into a little known topic. I don't think it's very widely known. It's called earthing. Now, that's what the British folks call it. In the United States, we call it grounding. And it's actually just like what it sounds like. Have you ever looked at the study of electricity, and you have to take a ground wire and ground things to the earth, ground things to the ground, because it helps increase the safety of electrical items, electrical articles? Well, guess what? Grounding your body has supposedly has a lot of good things that result if you ground your body. And all you got to do is touch your feet to the ground. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Getting rid of some of those free electrons roaming your body. It really helpful with a lot of health issues, supposedly. I think it is, because I did it today, and man, I tell you, I noticed something. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. Before we go too far into any rabbit holes talking about taxes and grounding or earthing, of course, the first thing we got to do, LBK, is go over some of the things that are coming up. Events out there. What's going on? What's going on? Well, I'll tell you what is going on. Soulful Sounds, Love and Laughs, presented by Acute Inflections, New York's jazzy R&B duo, is coming to the LBK on Thursday, April 25th at the Centerpoint Event Center. It's a cool-looking brother on the bass and a good-looking sister singing some jazzy tunes, and look like they be interacting with the audience and having a good time. Looks like it's a grown and sexy date night out is what it looked like. I tell you what, me and lovely wife are most likely going to be there, man. Sometime this week, I'm going to see, can I reach out? Let my fingers do the walking like they used to say back in the days. We talking about the yellow pages. Now, of course, we talking about the internet. Let my fingers do the clicking. See, can I pick up some of these tickets? That's Thursday, April 25th, Centerpoint Event Center. Soulful Sounds, Love and Laughs, presented by Acute Inflections, New York's jazzy R&B duo. So we're going to peep that out, man. We might see y'all out there if y'all happen to attend as well. Now, 2024 Black Business Expo, Ricky Sherfield and his team coming through once again. That is occurring. It's going to be coming up on August 2nd. What's happening is there's a networking mixer August the 2nd from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the East Lubbock Art House. And then on August 3rd, they're going to do the actual expo. That's from 12 to 4 at May Simmons Center, May Simmons Community Center. Of course, y'all know where that's at. Not even finna get in there. But guess what, y'all? We stronger together. That's that 2024 Black Business Expo. Networking Mixer, August 2nd, 7 to 8:30, East Lubbock Art House. The expo itself is August 3rd, 12 to 4, May Simmons Community Center. We've gone to 2 of those now, I think, since we've been back. And I have, I've had a good time at each one. I love seeing all of our local business owners out there trying to make it do what it do. I really enjoy seeing people take their lives and their finances and their creativity and put it all together and take it into their own hands and try to forge something out of it. Try to make their own way in this world and build their own little businesses. I like that. That's what I'm trying to do myself. We got another thing coming up that we also went to last year, me and lovely wife. It is the Texas Banana Pudding Festival. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I do not really dig banana pudding, but there's much more than banana pudding at this festival, according to what we saw last year. It's over there in Slayton, Saturday, August 31st at 8 a.m. The Texas Banana Pudding Festival. Slayton, Texas. And it's sponsored by Slayton Bakery. So yeah, y'all get out there and peep that out. That Texas Banana Pudding Festival. And if you don't know, man, all it is food trucks and banana pudding and vendors and good time had by all. It's a family and community event, something cool to go to. Walk around the red brick streets of old Slayton, Texas. While you're over there, you might even check out them brothers at the Israel United in Christ, because they organization is out there in Slayton too. So I don't know if y'all would be interested in peeping it out, but if you're gonna be in Slayton, you might as well check them out too. Let's see here. Now, that's all I really saw going on. The three things: the Soulful Sounds, Love and Laughs, the 2024 Black Business Expo, and the Banana Pudding Festival. Now, we're going to move on and get into this little thing called earthing or grounding, and we're just going to briefly talk about it. If you actually look at it, there's a whole website, www.earthing.com. I like to say grounding because I'm American and earthing is British, and who cares about the British and the way they talk about things. But I'm just going to read to you a little bit off the website. You ought to check it out. I mean, it's worth a gander. They claim it works. It say, what is earthing? Earthing is designed to sync the body to the natural rhythms of Earth. We envision a future where everybody understands how essential it is to be connected to the Earth. It says the Earth beneath your feet provides you with food and water. It gives you a surface to sit, stand, walk, run, swim, climb, play, and build on. It also provides you with something very surprising: electrons. When you touch the ground with your bare feet or body, the electrons flow into you, and this is called being grounded. So basically what they say on this website is that earthing or grounding helps you get rid of, I think they're calling them free radicals in your body. These are things that cause inflammation. And when you touch your feet to the ground, your bare feet to the ground, we've all started wearing shoes, and it's taking us away from nature in quite a noticeable way. But when you touch the ground with your bare feet, you actually take in electrons from Mother Earth, and it supposedly reduces inflammation, among other things. Now, I've been aware of this for quite a while, and in fact, I'm actually thinking about making me a earthing or a grounding pit in the backyard. So, we're going to have a fire pit, and we're going to have it to where it's nice earth around in that fire pit, so you can sit down and literally touch your feet down into some soil. You know what I'm saying? Now, we out here in West Texas, man, we got all these stickers and goat heads, they call them. So earthing can be quite uncomfortable sometimes, but if you set it up properly, you might find that it actually works. You ought to try it, man. Go to McKenzie Park or go out, or maybe if your yard is goat head free, just walk outside and put your feet down on that grass and see how you feel about it. I tell you what, today, me and lovely wife, we were, yesterday and today, we were out and about this weekend. And we did quite a bit of work around the house, man. And I had some trees to trim up. I had a lot of mowing to do. We got a decent sized backyard, and it's kind of out in the country, you know what I'm saying? So it's something that's got to be maintained. Well, anyway, after I got through messing with all that, we were sitting on the back porch, and I got a little patch of earth open right by the back porch. So I scooted my little old wicker chair over there, man, and put my bare feet on that earth. And I will have to say, man, I do believe that this earthing, this grounding, I do believe I felt something. Just putting my feet on the ground, on the raw, plain old dirt, I felt a lot of pain and discomfort just kind of melt away. out of my feet and lower body, knees. I got bad feet, lifetime of football and military service and stuff. So I got all kind of lower body issues, feet and ankles and knees and stuff. And I'll be dang, I really seem to see or seem to feel that a lot of that pain and discomfort that I have just seemed to go away. I just actually took a little nap. I was sitting out there dozing off, man, with my feet in the dirt, sitting on my little wicker chairs and stuff, and talking to a lovely wife, and she was talking, and we was yippity yapping, and at some point I realized my head dipping, I'm about to fall out, man. And I just felt as soon as my feet touched that ground, though, I did feel some sort of relief came over me from the various little symptoms of inflammation that I personally have. So anyway, I'm not going to tout it. I ain't going to say it ends cancer and all that. And who knows? That was my experience with it. I would say that, man, maybe y'all should give it a try. If you got some inflammation, some pain, some joint issues and stuff like that, and just put your feet on the ground. See, we don't think it could work because it ain't got Anthony Fauci's stamp of approval on it. We don't think it could work because the National Institutes of Health and the World Health Organization, all these cats don't really talk about it, although I did see some reports about it on the National Institutes of Health website, actually. Glanced through them. It seemed like they were speaking fairly positively of it, but this is not something that they publicize. This ain't something they always come out with. It ain't something your doctor got to prescribe. As a matter of fact, it ain't nothing that your doctor is going to prescribe at all. Almost certainly not. So because of that, I think we are preconditioned to think that it probably won't work. Probably some nonsense. But like I say, I did seem to feel some sort of diminution. I'm trying to say a lessening. Diminishing. Let's just put it like that. I felt my pain and swelling and stuff like that diminish and decrease. How about that one? So anyway, something for y'all to think about. Maybe try LBK. Go out there and get your feet in the dirt, not in the goat heads, not in the stickers, but just find some nice dirt or some grass, man. Get your feet in it. Lay your body down if you can, watching out for ants and all that. But touch the ground with your bare body, especially your feet. It's called grounding. It's called earthing. See what happens. I don't know. You might find something good. Might find something that does your body good. Might find that it don't really do nothing. But if that's the case, what have you lost? Nothing. You just touched your feet to the ground. It's called earthing. Now, I told you we was going to talk about taxes a little bit. I don't know about y'all. Hopefully y'all got some taxes back. We don't, man, I ain't got no taxes back in, I don't know how long. I feel like I be getting assaulted when it comes to tax time. You know what I'm saying? And one of the reasons that I really dislike taxes is because I'm a libertarian. I don't belong to the Libertarian Party. I ain't never signed up, but I believe in the tenets of libertarianism. It's one of the things that libertarians believe is that all taxation is theft. And if you think about it, it really is. Somebody that ain't got nothing to do with your money, somebody that ain't worked none of your hours and doesn't have your permission. I don't remember signing up with anybody and saying, yeah, it's okay to take any of my money out of my check. Didn't really give anybody permission for that. Don't really want to give anybody permission for it. People say you do when you sign up for your W-4 and all that stuff at work. But I mean, I don't want to do those things, especially because, get this, according to the Grace Commission, some people will say, man, taxes are the price we pay for civilization. No, they not. Taxes is the price we pay because the government like to keep you broke. I'm going to go through a couple things, and I'm going to tell you why I feel that way. First of all, there was a little thing called the Grace Commission. Really, it was called the Private Sector Survey on Cost Control, the PSSCC, commonly referred to as the Grace Commission, and it was an investigation requested by President Ronald Reagan, authorized by executive order in June 30th, 1982. And the bottom line of the report, they were looking for ways to be more efficient and waste less money in the government. But this is on Wikipedia too, and I don't really mess with Wikipedia because they full of it. But on this, they actually telling the truth. The the people ain't got to it yet. Y'all better check it out. I got a link right there. But it say one of the bottom lines is that the report said that 1/3 of all income taxes are consumed by waste and inefficiency in the federal government. 1/3 of all income taxes that they take from us just get burnt up from nothing just because the government is inefficient and too big and too cumbersome. Said another 1/3 escapes collection because of the underground economy. And I say, okay, well, that's good. For all them folks in the underground economy, that's good for y'all. But then it says 2/3 of everyone's personal income taxes, in other words, is wasted or not collected. And it says that 100% of what is collected is absorbed solely by interest on the federal debt and by federal government contributions to transfer payments. In other words, all individual income tax revenues are gone before one nickel is spent on the services that taxpayers expect from their government. Now, if y'all have listened to this podcast for any length of time, you've probably heard me mention a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's by G. Edward Griffin, and the subtitle is A Second Look at the Federal Reserve. Now, I just want to read to you something out of this book about taxes. It's on page 204 of The Creature from Jekyll Island, and it says taxes are a tool for social planning. The January 1946 issue of American Affairs carried an article written by Beardsley Rummel, who at the time was the chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Rummel had devised the system of automatic withholding during World War II, so he was well qualified to speak on the nature and purpose of the federal income tax. His theme was spelled out in the title of his article. Get this, y'all. The title of his article is Taxes for Revenue Are Obsolete. In an introduction to the article, the magazine's editor summarized Rummel's views as follows. His thesis is that, given control of a central banking system and an incontrovertible currency, or a currency not backed by gold, which our currency is no longer backed by gold, a sovereign national government is finally free of money worries and needs no longer to levy taxes for the purpose of providing itself with revenue. All taxation, therefore, should be regarded from the point of view of social and economic consequences. All taxation, therefore, should be regarded from the point of view of social and economic consequences. Rummel explained that since the Federal Reserve can now create out of nothing all the money that the government could ever want, there remain only two reasons to have taxes at all. The first of these is to combat a rise in the general level of prices. His argument was that when people have money in their pockets, they will spend it for goods and services, and this will cause the prices to go up, or it literally says this will bid up the prices. The solution, he says, is to take the money away from them through taxation and let the government spend it instead. This too will bid up prices, but Rummel chose not to go into that. He explained his theory this way. The dollars the government spends become purchasing power in the hands of people who have received them. The dollars the government takes by taxes cannot be spent by the people, and therefore these dollars can no longer be used to acquire things which are available for sale. Taxation, therefore, is an instrument of the first importance in the administration of any fiscal and monetary policy. He's saying they tax you just so they can take your money, so you don't have it to spend. Redistribution of wealth is also the other purpose of taxation. It says the other purpose of taxation, according to Rummel, is to redistribute the wealth from one class of citizens to another. This must always be done in the name of social justice or equality, but the real objective is to override the free market and bring society under control of the master planners. Rummel said, quote, "The second principal purpose of federal taxes is to attain more equality of wealth and income than would result from economic forces working alone. The taxes which are effective for this purpose are the progressive individual income tax, the progressive estate tax, and the gift tax. What these taxes should be depends on public policy with respect to the distribution of wealth and of income. These taxes should be defended and attacked in terms of their effect on the character of American life and not as revenue measures." Man, I don't they're in plain terms, they're saying they take your money. They don't need it. It doesn't go to anything. They don't use it for any of the stuff they claim to use it for. They take your taxes because they don't want you spending it, because they want to try to control inflation, which, by the way, inflation is a tax. And also, they want to be able to direct your money into their own causes the way they want to spend it. The Federal Reserve can create money out of nothing. So because of that, there's no reason to tax you. And taxes don't go to any of the things that they don't go to roads. They don't go to senior citizens programs. I'm talking about on a federal level. They don't go to any other stuff that we think they go to. They just go to pay the interest on the debt. Basically, taxes pay the interest on the credit card that they use to fund all these wars and all that stuff. And by the way, all that spending of money and funding of wars and programs is what causes what? Inflation. They try to tell you inflation is 2 or 3%. You know it's 30 or 40. I've been doing the grocery shopping for my family for almost 30 years. And I've watched the prices go up. It ain't no 8%. It ain't no 2%. It ain't no 9%. It's 20% and above on most stuff. Some as high as 40, almost 50% on some stuff. So, man, I said all that to say, LBK, I guess, enjoy paying those taxes. And maybe somebody told me one time, I read somewhere that somebody jokingly suggested that we should have election day right after tax day. So election day should be on April 16th, right after everybody just got through paying their taxes. I bet you that would make a difference in things. I bet you voting patterns would switch quite a bit if you had to pay taxes if you had to pay taxes and then go vote the next day. Well, probably why it ain't set up that way, huh? Anyway, LBK, this right here has been the latest episode 31 of the Focus LBK show. Glad y'all joined us. We appreciate it. This is episode 32 of the Focus LBK show. And again, thank y'all for sticking with us and staying tuned. And also realize that we are making some moves behind the scenes. We are trying to get us some office space. We are planning to get back to having as many guests as we can every month. Interesting people, your friends and neighbors, your movers and shakers coming in and talking with us. We're going to have a good looking set, man. It's going to sound good. It's going to look good. And it's going to be homegrown with all the people that you want to hear talk. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, just stay tuned and give us a chance to finish retooling and revamping and getting things going the way we want to. Lubbock, Texas, USA. I want to say y'all have a happy work week. And man, just take it easy, okay? Peace.